Because if you don't find anything good, you know, this show is lousy without good content.
It's true.
And heaven knows that, you know, you're the only one here that provides good content. I'm just here for the free food.
Free food?
Free food. Yeah, you know.
When is there free food?
Isn't that what was in the break room?
I didn't know we had free food.
I thought we did.
Oh.
You ready to start it?
We can give it a go.
Okay.
Let's try it out.
Got the wrong track, and also we got the wrong graphic. We had it set for apparently 1080p when it should have been 720. I don't know. Hey, what up, guys? This is the sound guys.
Not the video guys.
Not the video guys. Clearly, judging by the work, don't use that as our resume. I am Crispin Smith. I've been going on this handle for now about 3-4 weeks. I like it, and we're also joined by who?
The one and only Neighborhood Nick.
That was supposed to be a cut, not a fade, but whatever. That's good.
It faded into a nice.
It was it was very smooth. It was like oh yeah, the Neighborhood Nick, very neighborhoody. Yeah, what's going on over there, Neighborhood Nick, over there at the sound guy's desk?
Well, today, not a whole lot.
That's beautiful.
It's been a quiet day.
It's kind of like we have this like whole show about nothing, and that's what really makes it great. So for those of you who are new to the format,
like Seinfeld.
We can't. I don't know. I don't want to go there. That's a high caliber level of nothingness.
It's like Friends.
So anywho, for those of you who are new
to that 70s show.
Okay, you're done. For those of you who are new to our format and just joining us for the first time, welcome to the Sound Guys. We have not yet figured out exactly what the show is. That's because we're just giving it that kind of washcloth full of, you know, oil, throwing it against the wall and seeing what sticks kind of approach.
Can we keep saying that even though it's been like almost 3 months now? It's
absolutely. Well, because we don't have any feedback really regarding what's popular. So far, people really enjoy our approaches on conspiracies and also bashing CEOs from companies. So apparently that's what's popular right now. But with that being said, we do talk about sound. We do talk about the live entertainment industry. We do talk about production stuff. We talk about Bitcoin. We talk about crypto.
Congratulations
politics.
To anyone who has Bitcoin right now. It is over $60,000.
Yippee doodah! But the point is,
who doesn't have any Bitcoin? The Sound Guys.
Do you know who does? So, a funny story about the Sound Guys and Bitcoin. We were trading it like a regular asset, thinking there's no way it was going to, quote, moon, and we would just trade it on dips and so forth. Well, moral of the story is we sold at what we thought at the time was a reasonable price, cashed in on a little bit of money, paid some bills, bought some gear, and was going, hey, okay, when it goes back down again, we'll buy some more. We'll just buy low, sell high, buy the dip, blah, blah, blah. Well, those... Yeah, but those dips became very very difficult to obtain as the dips got higher and higher and higher. So anyways, I digress. The point is, for the new viewers and listeners, thanks for joining, because yeah, we're just your daily dose of background noise, weekly dose of background noise. And as Neighborhood Nick over there has said, we don't have anything to talk about today, which is always rare, but I guarantee you there will be something to be said. Right, Neighborhood Nick? You look very techie over there, man. I mean, like
we got the computer, the tablet, just constantly scouring the web and every news media possible to try to find just that random story that's just going to draw you in. That's just going to capture your heart.
Oh, you're going to be like that, huh?
Yeah, well, we have to. We gotta get them addicted to something.
Well, I think it's a good look. I don't know. For those of you who do comment, if you want to, I think it's a good look for Nick. He's got this like, for those who are listening driving right now, there's no reason to pull over. It's not worth it. But he, it's very low budget news looking. He's got his screen with the sound guys. He's got his leather jacket
I have
on.
No control over this screen behind me there.
Well, that's true. He's got his really cool coronavirus year of the virus 2020 shirt on, leather jacket, rocking the Asus Tech. I mean, Nick, you're looking pretty good. If you weren't already in a relationship, I would think there'd be some women out there listening to the podcast and be like, "Is he single?" Ooh.
I don't think they'd be, if they're just listening, they wouldn't see me.
Actually, but that's an interesting thing, though. I mean, voices and eyes have become the next new point of attraction because of coronavirus. Think about it.
Well, we only have masks, so you can't see the person's face or their nose, or you shouldn't.
Dude, let me tell you about that story. Honestly, here's the deal. So I was working at a venue recently, and I'm not going to be rude. This wasn't bad. But I saw a gal, and we're all masked up, and she had beautiful eyes. They're big and just interesting eyes, and they looked super familiar. And so, like, if you had placed, it's so weird. You place someone in your mind with the full face that you remember, right? And I asked, have you worked at like the MGM? I mean, like, where have you? We've done a job together. Where have you worked? And she was like, "No, I've always been in Texas, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Vegas? And so anyways, after just going around, she's like, "No." And then so she ended it in a positive, well, now you know me now. I'm like, "Cool, so great, thanks for going on." And then we got outside. I don't know if it was just as a courtesy or whatever, but she took her mask off, as we're outside talking, and like, not the person I was thinking at all.
Everything changed.
Oh my goodness,
100%.
It was so weird. Like, the computer in my mind is like saying, "Oh, hey, like, you're matching the eyes to the person that you think is under the mask." And all of a sudden, when the mask came up, like, "Oh my goodness, no, that's not you at all. Nope, I don't know you from anything." Wow. It was in the whole 13, 14 months this nonsense has been going on. That was the first real like awkward moment I've ever had. Like, I didn't know if like she recognized how aback taken I was, because I was like, "Okay, well, nice. We'll see you soon. Wow, bye-bye." It was weird. It was just not at all what I was expecting. I wonder if people do that with us. Like, like they see you, we got a good personality, like we're fun on the phone, we're fun on the radio, and all of a sudden they see you and you're like, "Oh man, these people are like overweight, they're out of shape, they're crazy old, they're ugly. Ugh." I don't know. I mean, it's confidence. I don't care. Comment.
It also depends if they actually, because it depends on our client also. Because sometimes, like when we're in the van or something, we'll put the mask on and take it off. So if they see us beforehand, they have an idea of what we look like. It's very few times that we go around maskless around our clients and customers.
Well, that's true. That's true. If we want to talk about safety.
Yes.
We do take your concerns and the nation's concerns and the world's concerns very seriously. But
it's mainly our paying customers, though. Those are the ones we actually care about.
Well, that's true. It really
help pay our bills.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how. It's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin and GameStop ain't doing it for me at the moment. Can you imagine all the people that bought GameStop though at the top? I mean, think about that. They bought it at like 400 or 300, and they have to get back to that level of the stock to even become at break even.
It's still not over though.
No. Well, it's not.
GameStop's still at what, 260 something?
Last I checked, yeah, it was 267-ish. That's not bad, but I mean, you're halfway there. Again, if you bought at 400, you're still even if you bought one share, you're still $150 under. So I don't know. But that's the beef for me. But no, as far as like I look at the safety thing, and I'm not trying to be rude about it. I think that there is common sense that comes into play. It's important to talk about those things. But at the same time, if someone's going to be rude about it, then that's where it becomes an issue. It's like, I feel like as human beings, from a common decency standpoint, people have their own reasons for whatever, okay? And I'm not going to be irreverent or radical on an individual, but if they feel more comfortable, if they feel more comfortable with, a mask on, they're going to pull their mask up and put it on. Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're weak. Well, that's not being a good human. That's not being a nice guy. Come on. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion. I know you, on the other hand, you're over there in your hotel room, fully clothed, and sticking it to the man, being like, no, I'm gonna. No one's telling me what to do. I'm an American. But that's okay. That's
not
cool.
Quite, but okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not. Tell us, neighborhood Nick. What was I? I wasn't accurate, but how close was I? How close really was I to that assumption?
Me being fully dressed in a hotel?
Okay, yeah. And
100%.
You've even said in the past
normal human being.
That's debatable.
No.
Again, I need comments. Now, people who listen, I need business travelers, people who are listening to the podcast, to help me out here. I want you to hop on the comments section, leave a little ding-ling-ding, and be like, Crispin Smith is correct. The first thing I do, or at least one of the top 5 or 10 things I do when I get into my hotel room, is I get comfortable and I start taking off some clothes.
No.
That's the question.
No.
They put the little do not disturb up on the door. Leave me alone. I'm in my cell. That's...
No.
Okay, well then whatever. We're going to direct this out. But again, in a previous episode, I don't have a rundown. I don't have numbers. I don't know anything about what episode was what. But you did say, I don't like people telling me what to do.
No, that part's true.
Yeah, so...
That part is true.
So I was right.
I rebel against authority usually.
Yeah, that's kind of dangerous.
Unless they say it nice. If they say it nicely, that's one thing.
Okay, so here's a role play. You get pulled over. Okay, I'm going to be a cop. Okay, let's just have this role play. It's like, good evening.
Evening.
Did you have an idea why I pulled you over?
Not a clue. Did I do something wrong?
Actually, yeah, you were getting a little bit closer to the limit line. Do you have your driver's license with you?
Of course.
Do you mind if you step out of the car, please?
Sure.
Okay, can you please put your hands behind your back?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and detain you for a moment here while we search your car. Is that all right with you?
Not a problem.
Really? You're not going to ask any questions in any of that? That just went from 0 to 100. You're now in police custody. You didn't even ask what is going on?
Not giving them anything they can use against me.
You haven't even been read your rights. Wow, that's...
I want my lawyer.
Okay, no, you've blown it right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, Neighborhood Nick, any law enforcement out there, if you just feel like you need to up your quota, go ahead and pull him over and just give him the arrest. No, man, you got to have some dialogue. Hey, so what's up? Why am I being detained? It's like, am I being detained or am I being free to go here? Like, obviously you want to hold me up. So what's your PC? What's your probable cause? Why are you? What's up? Is my license plate bad? Did you get a bad description of, a car matching my description? Like, we need to go through this. Okay, well, if you do, then yeah, I want my lawyer. I need to be, I'm not saying another word. I don't care. This is stupid. And honestly, in reality, a lawyer's not going to help you because they're still going to detain you. They're going to book you, and you're going to go before a judge, and then you have a lawsuit that you can have to sue them because there's no way that you're going to get out of that. It's the arresting officer's call, so you're spending a night in jail. So have fun with what they call in prison the nuts and butts. That's true. Actually, I worked in prison, and that's a truth. Because everyone you have to make sure you're not smuggling anything into the facility. So it's called nuts and butts, where you have to look at the guys and make sure all of the orifices are empty. It's a very wonderful part of intake. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love to see you do that.
I have been pulled over.
No, I would love to see you have to go through the booking process at a county jail. That would be, oh my goodness. No.
It wouldn't happen.
Folks at home, on the road, in the internet listening to this, can you imagine if you've spent this entire, episode, this entire season, what are we? We're not seasons. What are these? The show, the series? Yeah, if you've spent the entire series with us, learning who we are and spending time with us, I think everyone, if you're not laughing right now listening to this, thinking of Neighborhood Nick going through the booking process at a dirty county jail, it's so funny. Because okay, fine, whatever. I think it's great. I mean, with just the phobia that he has already, that's why you got to be more. You got to be more. You got to loosen up.
I don't know how I can be any looser.
Well, I mean,
there must be order in life.
Yeah, we've talked about this quite a bit, but it is what it is.
There are set parameters.
Oh goodness! But okay, fine. Getting off that train, that's a dead horse. That's a dead horse walking. Dude, new things in the news: COVID passports.
Ooh.
So we talked about this on a previous episode also, but I want to revisit this.
We did.
This is where we kind of are on the same page. I agree. Okay.
Well, in the previous pitch for the COVID passport, you were on board with
I still
having
am.
that fun little app that you mentioned.
Civic.
With all your medical information right there, so you can get scanned and shuttled away to wherever you need to be.
Sure.
However, it seems you're not alone in this. There's other places and nations already trying to adopt this. And so some of these countries are looking into the COVID passport that you must have this in order to go anywhere in that country or internationally. Now here's an issue. If we start having this be a necessity, because it's one thing to require vaccines to go places.
Right.
It's one thing for your medical records where you have to have that to get a visa. That's one thing. But to scan the COVID passport to be able to get on a plane, to be able to get on a train, to go to some other place, there's a lot of logistical issues now, especially if it's international. How are you going to get something that works in every single country that every single person is going to have? Mm-hmm. Secondly, now we also have to be careful about individual rights and freedoms. We have to worry about HIPAA, which may or may not only apply to the United States and to some other countries. Other countries just disregard it entirely. But that's an issue that is also have to be looked at. And then what do you do with countries that don't want to partake in said COVID passport?
Right.
That does not require that of its citizens. Do you just eliminate that? Because tourism is still, even with COVID and everything, it's still a major income for many different places.
Totally.
And if you eliminate populations, you're eliminating customers.
Right.
And for some countries, tourism's the only thing they have.
It is.
So now we got more issues brimming with the COVID passport. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Guys, meaning like guys
in the comment section? I want to know what they think about that. But I don't know, because on one hand, like you've sold yourself out already to the tech that this is a great and wonderful, fantastical idea. I don't know if this could actually be possible.
Well, okay. I haven't sold myself out, you jerk. I mean, no. It really comes down to two things. One, I mean, like we have that job coming up in Los Angeles, and what concerns me about Los Angeles is that, we have 2 engineers flying out of state. Okay, well, still public health requires a 10-day quarantine, but the thing is this: it's not it's not economically correct. What's the word I'm looking for? Not being good stewards. There's a better way of saying this. It's not
worth the money to have them stay for 10 days to be in quarantine to do the job and then send them back up.
Yeah, that's the blunt way of putting it. I know there's a more articulate way of saying it, but it really doesn't benefit anyone's economy.
No.
For us, I mean, it doesn't help. And so for us to say, okay, we got to pay, dude, a room, even the cheapest room we could find, even if that would still be $600-700 just in the room. And then, is the company obligated? Then we have those things. Like, so let's just go worst case scenario. Let's say the engineers, they're still 1099 private contractors, if that's even still a thing. If we can still do that, who freaking knows? But the point is, we're under that auspice of assumption that that's what we're doing, right? Yeah. So we have an engineer coming down. Okay, fine. So now we're going to room that engineer for $700, $800, okay? And then we need to feed the engineer because obviously that's probably, that's just one of the sweeter deals. Now, what if that engineer steps out, gets someone sick, or if the engineer gets hit by a car? Whose fault is it? Whose insurance is liable? Who's going to get sued? Is the company going to get sued, or is it just like act of God, whatever? It happened on you. Okay, all those things. And then secondly, as it comes, if they don't quarantine, who's liable? Are they going to get liable, or is the company sued? I mean, like, there's just so many questions about that because you got to fly them in. They got to go to work. It's quote unquote essential work.
It's true.
And so I know they made some provisions for it, but then those provisions don't make any sense either. It's like, okay, well, you need to go to your essential job, and then you need to go back to your hotel room to self-quarantine.
So you just get out, talk to 300, 400 plus people?
Well, I guess. I don't know. And then on some of the jobs they've done, they totally make a safe building. The safe building, everyone's working there. They've been working there. They test every day. And then I get the safety factor of it, like everyone's wearing masks, but in reality, think about it. Everyone in the building has been tested daily. The building is sealed. No one's coming in and out of the building. So why are we wearing masks? Maybe it's just an added layer of safety, I guess. Then you have that. And then look at the airports. The airports require the 6-foot spacing, but yet you're sitting, 6 inches apart from someone in the plane. This whole thing has been a mess in that respect. So when I say I sold out, I didn't sell out. I was basically trying to compromise in the best way to bring an industry back. Because if you look at any event or any type of thing that opens up for a mass gathering, you have there's 3 types of people, but really let's just say for the sake of simplicity, you have 2 people. The people who are scared and the people who are not. And people who are scared, not trying to label them as being fearful, but more just maybe they're cautious. They have reason to be cautious. So we're not giving them a bad rap. But then you have the other people who are just like, well, you know what? I got it, or I didn't get it, or I want to live. And so you have that. So it's both campaigns are very broad. But the point is, that's kind of where we're at. So to help both sides, both campaigns kind of have some common ground, well, okay, cool. If you know that everybody in the stadium is tested, if you know that everybody in the stadium had a clean bill of health, wouldn't that be more productive for getting things open? So how would you legislate that, or how would you make that easier? Well, then you have technology, because then it's easier on the promoter, it's easier on the folks to be like, hey, just download the app. Okay, cool. We know that you're good to go. Awesome. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And that's the same reason why I also tell a lot of times when I'm working with elderly clients, because everyone's concerned. I'm like, yeah, we get the nose swab. We're getting tested. So last one came out, clean bill of health. And it's amazing to see for some folks just how much of a weight is lifted off their shoulders when they're like, okay, cool, I don't have to, that's the other question I don't have to ask. It just, some people need that, and that's important to give them.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. If you're going to try to mix and match this whole thing, there's HIPAA, there's all sorts of extra things that people need to work about. But I think that you can give enough information for a sense of security versus not. And I think there's a good quote that came up. Someone, what was it? If you have to give up your freedoms for security, you don't deserve either. Was that how it worked?
If you're willing to give up freedom for safety,
right,
then you're not worthy of either.
Precisely. So I'm not trying to. It's a very fine line between that quote and what I'm suggesting. So yes, I get that, but let's just talk about the beer fest. Let's just talk about the last big brew fest we did. Okay, 20,000 people at this event, shoulder to shoulder. A lot of it is super packed. Okay, now, how do we get back to that level of comfortability? Think about that. Mass gatherings are allowed. Okay, but what is a promoter going to have to do? Are we still masking? Are we adding to the ticket process? Let's just think about just the ticketing process alone. Okay, people bought their VIP or they bought their general admission online. Okay, They arrive at that massive gate that we have to process everybody through. Okay, you got them coming on both sides of the block. So everyone's getting scanned in. Okay, cool. Now we add one more step to be like, oh, hey, did you get your test? So like if that's separate, now we got one more thing to do. And if you're adding even 10 more seconds of interaction per person multiplied by 20,000 people, because regardless if they bought their stuff online or not, they still have to be physically present to come through the gate. The VIPs will come in an hour earlier, but you're still, you know what I'm saying? The processing time alone adds 10 seconds at a minimum. So now, okay, well then let's go ahead and say, okay, on the ticket it's inclusive. We have verified COVID-free report. So now we've minimized that 10-second additional processing time per person. We can get them in the event. And if there's comfort of mind that everybody knows that they're tested, I mean, maybe I'm being optimistic because I know we've said in past shows that nothing's coming back ever again, but I don't see why that we couldn't go back to that brew fest. We couldn't. Everyone's just having a great time, drinking beer, and have got their masks off, and it's just like the old days. Having a good time because everybody's friendly.
I think we could get to that point. I do think we could get to that point. I just don't know necessarily if this is going to be the correct route to take for people.
Okay.
I think people are going to be very much, you're going to have 50% of the people be all pro-in COVID passport, and you're going to have 50% of people who are completely against it. That this is a violation of privacy.
But I mean, okay, but how is it a violation of privacy? I mean, because, okay, when I go through a booking process, right? I'm going to have to give them my name, my address, my credit card. Probably my date of birth because if there's alcohol. Driver's license because they're gonna have to confirm ID.
No, there's a precedence for enforcing it, and there's a precedence for all of that stuff. But if you expand this out to something even larger, I mean, the privacy, which I can't remember which act it is, but there's certain privacies that one does not have to disclose anymore. And some of it, especially in the cases of medical information, there's a lot of medical information that you legally do not have to disclose to any party anymore. I think even now, what was it, in San Francisco, they passed some laws and everything that you don't have to reveal if you have HIV or AIDS or anything like that. Which in some places that's very much a violation of law. So we have this aspect of COVID. Is it a violation of privacy? Is it a violation of medical privacy? Is this between you and your doctor kind of thing? On top of that, now you have your business, and the precedence is, well, you already give your social security number out, you already give credit card information out. So where's that fine line between the division of medical privacy, regular privacy, and then everything that's already online?
I thought the answer was, I mean, I guess I'm surprised. I mean, I know we're discussing it, and that's important, but I guess I feel like there are maybe bad actors who want to take it as far as they can. But I think the happy medium is just creating a solution to the problem. And the solution is simply, hey, are you COVID free? Have you had a test in 72 hours? That's part of your admission. That's part of your, just like the Real ID, that's part of your ability to get into a specific event or whatever. and leave it at that. I mean, and that would also be a good entrepreneurial thing too, because obviously that'll make way for some fraud, obviously. But I mean, you could have any other pop-up lab across the country be like, oh yeah, we do COVID tests now. Sweet, cool. Pop in real quick, get your nose poked, get your paperwork, boom, head in. And then if they offer that digital, it just uploads to your wallet and good to go. And that's it. There's no reason to access anything else. If you actually go further with the COVID passport, that's where I will say I have a problem, because then you have access to the makeup of what makes you you. Now, granted, I mean, you say, well, we can build it with the information you just gave up. It's either all or nothing. But think about that. There is some leverage to knowing certain things about you. If insurance companies would do it, if they're like, oh, you had surgery on your back, or you have a problem with your knee, or if you have a certain type of STD, those could be things that would disbar you from serving in public office if you had that desire, or going to specific stores, or being I can see that allowing you some heartache for travel and purposes. So yeah, the COVID passport, I think it doesn't need to be a quote COVID passport. They call it that, but it should be just as simple as anything like at events. Before you fly, go to your pop-up COVID swab test and go. Even in airports, I think they're doing that right now. Some airports have COVID screening sites. So it's just like, dude, I mean, that's all you need to do. There's nothing additional that needs to go into files and records and extra crap like that. Just show up. Are you clear? You're clear. Go for it. Did you get a vaccine? Cool. If you have a little vaccine card, great, because I know they did that with polio, I think. Back in the day, you actually had a little card. You have your immunization card, your immunization records. Yeah. Then rock and roll. We don't need to go as far as some people are making it. I think that's the issue. They're trying to go further than what they're trying to go further than what the solution to the problem actually needs to be. And that's where we have the issue. So did I help clarify that I'm not selling myself out? Jeez, I mean, like, you make it sound so bad. No, I'm just, my interest is just for the public, and also, for everyone's privacy, but at the same time, to have some fun. Let's just get back to it. And I don't know, man. I just don't think that we're doing. I think we're fine. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with the vaccine, but I feel like we should be. It seems like we should be fine, unless people are just trying to have draw a bad thing out.
Never let a good pandemic go to waste.
I guess, but oh well.
Consolidate your power.
Yeah, for real. Hey, did you ever look up that AR thing I told you about, changing gears again?
Which AR thing? The goggles?
About the Oculus?
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't have any time for that.
Okay, that's fine. I give you some homework. I try to ask you to do something, and you're like, whatever. It's cool. It's cool.
There were other things. Other things had to be done.
Did you go? Okay, so moving on to some headlines here real quick. Did you see that with Bitcoin now being in $60,000? Okay. Now, is it true that Tesla did invest in Bitcoin? Like, was that the thing?
They could have very well.
Yeah, because from what I understand, now all of a sudden they're like, I don't know.
I know that there was some other company that invested heavily into Bitcoin.
Ooh, what?
I'm trying to remember which one it is, but...
Did you see this? A solar-powered amphibious super yacht that can move on sand like a crab?
Tesla says it invested more than $1 billion into Bitcoin.
Ugh, they are so doing good. Dude, look this up. Italian-based Lazzaroni Design Studio has unveiled designs for a solar-powered amphibious crabmaran dubbed Pegasus, which the studio claim will be the world's first. The term crabmaran combines the words crab and catamaran, which is appropriate since it moves on the sand like a crab. This unique vessel was initially conceived for military use, but is now being offered to the private sector at a high cost. Have you seen this?
I have not.
It's a super yacht. It's 82 feet. Wow. 2 twin steel hulls. Different. You have it configured to different interiors according to the owner's liking. Living quarters are split across the 2 hulls. It's connected by a steel bridge and a tower deck.
Oh, I see this thing. Hey, that's the design of that one ship in which Bond movie is it?
Oh my gosh, is it a Bond thing?
The last Pierce Brosnan one, I think. No, not the last. Was it the last one? I think Michelle Yeoh was in it.
Well, whatever. It's got solar.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Day After Tomorrow.
It looks legit.
I see this. Yeah, that's a cool looking ship.
No price tag though.
Huh?
Ooh, talking about COVID real quick too. Did you see this 3 hours ago from CNN? Ireland halts the use of AstraZeneca vaccine following blood clot reports in Norway.
I did hear about that, which adds to more dilemma because, and this is the one thing when it comes to like medicine and everything, you can't use medicine equally in other countries as easily as you can in some countries. Mm-hmm. And so then there's some political power games happening because you have AstraZeneca, you have Johnson & Johnson, you have Moderna, you have Pfizer, but then you also have these Russian and Chinese vaccines that all of their allies have to get. And so you have one world divided into certain vaccines and the other half of the world with other vaccines, and no one knows for sure if these vaccines are all going to work 100%, which then comes back to the COVID passport issue. Are you going to have to be required to have certain types of vaccines? Because anyone can just inject themselves with some sort of solution and say, hey, I got the COVID vaccine.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to you, but I'm actually on TikTok. Sorry. I'm looking at this Twitter, so if you can see it on my screen, this is craziness. You can see it on the program there, Neighborhood Nick. Look at this guy. It's an octocopter, and the engine fails, and he. This is the Darwin Awards by drone. Like what? I mean, like really, dude. Like what do you?
That's a big drone.
Yeah, that's probably something to hold one of the Aries. They've got the drone. Dude, this is crazy. Anyway, sorry. Vaccines. Yeah, for the folks at home, actually, I totally left you guys out in the dark. So it's the Darwin Awards, the drone edition. Basically, he's on. It's a hexacopter, not octo. Hexa is 6, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hexacopter. And it's one of the industrial ones that are used for, doing it's utilitarian purposes, but they use them for cameras as well. So this clown is hanging from the landing gear as it takes off and they're flying it. And then it gets probably about, not too high, 5-10 feet up in the air. And then one of the motors fail and then it just takes a tumble and he goes down with it too. It looks like he got kind of hurt pretty bad, but that's kind of silly. I don't know why they would. I mean, that's the thing. That's where I'm at with this. I would just love for us just to get back to making, good creative collaborations. That's fun. Come up with good ideas, good fun things. It's like, that's what makes the world kind of, get a little bit further along as opposed to reinventing. We're just going in circles. People don't know how to get out of that rut and get more creative. That's, remember like the guy that, what was it? He had he was the quarantine edition and they were dating via drone. He would fly, little letters over to her apartment back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun things, man. Anyways. Sorry, that was a digression. I know you said something about vaccines and people blood clots and whatever, but I was on TikTok. So as you were saying, Nick?
Well, like I said, the world, every country has all these different vaccines, and so depending on which political sphere you may be in, You could receive a Russian vaccine, a Chinese vaccine, some of the American vaccines, maybe some of the British vaccines. Israel is the world's leader in vaccinations right now for COVID, and you could receive an Israeli vaccine. So with the COVID passport, are we going to have to limit it to certain makers of the vaccine and thus allow capitalism to have its way and create a monopoly on a vaccine?
Oh, dude, they cleaned up on that EpiPen one, right? Was that guy that got yeah. Like what, $2,000 per shot?
I mean, look at the price of insulin in America.
Oh.
There's some craziness happening with medicine. So with the COVID passport, that's just another added dilemma that has to be looked into.
Well, not only that, you're looking at here, like, on, folks, this guy on YouTube, he's a vaccine researcher. He's saying that it was on Twitter today. My father-in-law believes a YouTube video with 2 doctors who told him the vaccines change your DNA over me, an actual vaccine researcher. How's your weekend going? It's like, but that was another argument I made too. Talking about capitalism. I'm not trying to say that this is what everybody does, but hold on. Be like, doctor's coat. See, I'm just doing a little vote. So look at this. I mean, I can be a doctor for $17. I mean, if you guys can see that on the screen there. Yeah, $17. I can be a doctor. $20. I can get a coat and tie.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a bestseller too. So everyone's apparently buying lab coats, and I can be a doctor. I can start my YouTube channel. I mean, dude, seriously, we should just buy some scrubs and change.
Pretend to be medical experts and get sued?
No, we're not going to say anything like, whatever. We're just going to be wearing scrubs, and we're just going to talk about medical hypotheses. And they're like, oh, okay. The sound guys all of a sudden must know medicine. It's laughable. I'm just saying, dude. I mean, anybody can buy these things and make themselves have the look.
Yeah.
And then, have a YouTube channel. Oh, no, I'm a doctor. I know better. Food for thought.
Well, switching topics now, as you fade into your beautiful shot. Going to switch topics. I don't know if you heard this one, but this is actually really interesting. We're going to drugs now. And I'm not talking pharmaceutical drugs. I'm talking the hardcore stuff.
PCP, cocaine, methamphetamine,
cocaine.
smack,
specifically cocaine,
crack, Warhol, shrooms,
is that a hardcore drug?
T-Pain, Ice Cube, 50 Cent. Yeah, those are all drugs. Pixel Time, I think that's one of them.
Yeah.
Party Town. Down Under, yeah, that's all stuff.
Yeah.
Rouge.
Anyway, off the coast of Spain,
baked ziti.
Off of the coast of Spain, they discovered a narco submarine that could carry 2.2 tons of narcotics.
What is this again? It's a what?
A narco submarine. So it's a homemade submarine that has been popular from Colombia going to Central America. This one in particular, this one was made out of fiberglass and plywood.
Sick.
Powered by 200 horsepower engines.
Sick.
And it's designed in particular to be able to carry drugs from a ship or another location. And this was supposed to help bring in over 400 kilos of cocaine and some other illegal drugs as well as cash into the European Union.
How much is 400 kilos of cocaine worth? 800 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's almost $1 billion, but
almost. It's getting there.
How do I build a submarine? Oh, there's some training videos, man. How much does it cost to build a submarine? Oh, this is like a legit submarine. Oh, DIY submarine. Yeah. 31 feet. Sick. We should do that. We should have a submarine challenge. We should build a homemade submarine. Go try it out in like one of the local rivers. Dude, that'd be cool. Get some news on it. The sound guys are making their own submarine to sound from. I
don't know how you could sell that one.
I'll work on it. It's a work in process. Oh, sorry. All right. So you said, all right, cocaine. It's great, right?
I didn't say it's great.
That's what you just said. You said it was in a submarine. It was delicious. It adds great flavor to your pizza. Don't you use it as a topping?
Was it nutritious?
Yeah.
It's going to keep you awake, that's for sure.
Well, that too, or just, your lousy comments.
Top-notch comedy over here, right?
Top notch. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
But no, I think this is pretty serious because people may not know this. The United States has been the world's largest receiver of illegal narcotics, especially cocaine. However, it appears now, according to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, Europe has now possibly and most likely has surpassed the United States as the world's largest cocaine market.
All right, Europe's the most largest cocaine market?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they are taking over the cocaine drugs and everything. And I can't help but wonder if this has to do with COVID a little bit, but I think it's been building up anyway.
I don't understand. How so?
For narcotics and everything?
Yeah. I mean, like...
Well, in America, there's been a massive increase of drug use throughout the time of COVID. There's been a massive increase in mental health challenges. There's been a massive increase in suicide, a massive increase in domestic violence. California's already reported, I think, like a 70 to 75 increase in particular of strangulation in correlation with domestic violence. So there's been, throughout 2020, a steady rise of self-harm and harm to others, and an increase in drug use and other forms of narcotics, not just limiting to marijuana, cocaine, things like that, but more serious things such as heroin, meth, crystal meth, all that type of stuff is on the rise in America. Not commonly reported, at least not here in America, but in Europe, it has also been steadily increasing along with other disparities in certain communities where there's an increase in crime, an increase in suicide, mental health challenges. And it's hitting every socioeconomic strata. It's not just a rich man, poor man issue. It's hitting every single class.
Well, why does that be just men? I mean, what about women?
Well, social classes.
Yeah, don't be sexist.
Okay. A rich woman or a poor woman analogy. But anyway,
no, but I hear you.
There's a vast increase lately of all sorts of usage of things.
So then, what happened?
I think my mic died. You getting signal?
No, your mic did die. Right in the middle of the show. We'll jiggle it around. Check it out. See what's going on there. I'm gonna comment while you fix your mic. Yeah, there you go. I got signal on. Jeez, heavens to Betsy. Are people at home? No, but I'm hearing.
It looks like the battery's about to die.
Oh, is the battery about to die? Well, then go steal some batteries off another mic.
Okay.
I'll mute you. I guess my thing is, these are problems that have always been prevalent, but with the COVID situation, locking people down, putting people in their homes, and all of a sudden now, what we even said, like say domestic violence. They had an opportunity to escape. They'd go to work, but now they're home with their abuser 24/7. That's a thing. Someone who already had an addiction, to cocaine or some other drug, they are at home now thinking about this constantly, and now they're just trying more and more to get more of that very fix that they need at home. No, I've got you. There are ways to do this, but I don't know what, I really don't know what the solution would be to this, because we've already, as a nation and as a world, we've sent out so much money in stimulus and all this other stuff. So, I mean, and it's only going to be the calling of people who truly want to get out there and help, mental health, social services, people who are there not for the job, but because of the calling. So,
we also need marriage counselors, apparently.
I believe that.
There's a massive increase in divorces.
I believe that too. Well, dude, that was there's a combination of two. I mean, you're going to have divorces because of if you're not spending a lot of time with your spouse and you realize you hate your spouse, okay, then you got married for the wrong reasons. But then also if you're spending time apart, there's two reasons for divorce in that respect: spending too much time together or too little time together. But I mean, or you could be a spanking Tom.
Oh, what?
Yeah, did you know that?
Oh, what?
It's called a whipping Tom. In the late 1600s, London was plagued by a sexual attacker dubbed Whipping Tom. He would spank his victims with his hand and sometimes with a rod, and he would shout "Spanko" before running away. Yeah, it's very relevant to what we're talking about. Here, take a look at the.
Is this like the poor man's Jack the Ripper?
Yeah, see here. That's what he looks like. See him?
Huh.
Spanking Tom. And he would, he'd basically be like,
Oh, it's a Reddit thing.
It's always a Reddit thing. You always make it seem like it's like, Reddit isn't a good source for information and news.
Because I don't.
I think we should use that in more of our daily lexicon. We should start yelling "Spanko." That's a great. You could hit someone and yell "Spanko" and get away with it.
It is the poor man's Jack the Ripper, who still has never been caught.
No. Yeah, but anyways, I'm not trying to make light of your story. I'm telling you that it's relevant for those that are just like going like, I'm listening to a podcast called The Sound Guys, and now we're delving into some very I don't mind going into serious issues. I don't. But at the same time, we have to really pull ourselves out of the darkness to make it nice and light, because when we end the show, it needs to end on a high note. So, Spanko. That's what I've got for you. Spanko.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to end.
Wait, you got to give me some heads up, man. And we don't have because I've got to load up the music and the ending and all the stuff. Last time you did that crap to me, it was like, it was just your mean mug.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's been close to or over an hour.
Actually, we've done pretty well because we've actually been taking some time to speak slowly and methodically and really carry on a good conversation. We're almost at the top of the hour, so we're doing very good. This is a full 60-minute, and by the time we clean up with some additional sponsorships and things from our non-existent sponsors, we will be at the top of the hour. So yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
long pause.
It is time. It is time now to say goodbye.
Sad songs, goodbye now.
I do want to tell you that we still have some shirts available if you would like to purchase them. Get your year of the virus before 2020 is a far distant memory.
Yeah, we'll have to make a new one that says 2021, year of the vaccine. I don't know.
We haven't thought of this one yet, but we will. We will find out something for 2020.
Did you bring a shirt to hold up, or are you just wearing it?
I'm just wearing mine.
Wait, is that yours, or is that one of the ones that we were going to sell?
No, it's it's mine. It's my personal one.
No, I'm just going to rip out from the merchandise. That's what Nick does. He doesn't wash any of his clothes. He just basically grabs from the merchandise, puts on a new shirt. He's like, oh, look, it's my shirt. Like, yeah, you got 15 of those things now. Hell yeah. So please buy a shirt. And since we don't have a website set up for merch like we've talked about in the past, just send an email to thesoundguyspodcast@gmail.com and be like, hey, what's up, guys? Are you checking that, by the way? Are you checking the email?
I do.
Okay, good. So at least someone's checking the email.
I check the email every day.
Beautiful. So Neighborhood Nick will check thesoundguyspodcast@gmail.com from someone who's going to be like, hey, send me a shirt. And then we'll be like, cool, here's a link. Pay for it. And then you'll be like, no, I'm cool. And then
That's typical.
But if you want to push that at that level, you can. We'll send you a Square link. You can just pop in your information, and we'll send it out to you. Be sure to mention the size you want. I'm sure we'll get all that information from you. We have small, medium, large, extra large, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7X. We've got
it all.
We've got nightgowns that say you're the virus. It's man.
We got it all.
So Neighborhood Nick's wearing one. They're very comfy. They actually hold up well in the wash. It's a good cotton, feeling good t-shirt. Yeah, that's it. And then as far as everything else goes, I personally always like to close by saying thank you for spending time with us. Because, again, you have a choice. You have many things to listen to, but you've chose to invest the time and hang out with the Sound Guys, and that's always cool. We wish you guys would give us a comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like, and what you'd like to see more of, because heaven knows we have a repertoire of many things we could talk about, including what the title says, the Sound Guys, production tips, live entertainment, what we're doing with a cool thing called OBS, black magic stuff. I mean, name it. We got it. It's good. We're the Sound Guys. Right, Nick?
We are.
And what else do they need to do, Nick, as far as to do all that stuff that you do?
Well, you have to make sure you hit that like button. Help us with that algorithm. Leave a comment. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, as the one and only Crispin Smith has told us. Hit subscribe if you're on YouTube so you never miss an episode. And if you're just listening to Spotify, Apple, CastBox, be sure to review us, rate us, R-A-T-E, rate us.
I no comment right now. Rate. We're rating.
Yeah.
Rating. R-A-T-E.
Leave a 5-star review.
Rate.
And that's it.
Rate us.
That's pretty much all that there is to it.
He's like,
Be sure to join us next time.
He's like, that's all I got. So, that's it, Nick?
I think that's it. I think it's time to go.
Okay, it's time to go.
Goodbye, people. Join us next time.